#1 on air, online, on the go. KY3 News at noon starts with breaking news.
Good day from KY3 News. A Springfield police officer was shot on the head near Evangel University early this morning. That set off a massive manhunt, now well past its 11th hour. KY3's Shayla Patrick is on the scene and starts our team coverage now.
That's right, Steve. A male person of interest is in custody. He was located at this rent-to-own autos lot you can see behind me. There are a few police officers and detectives on scene. They've also got the area roped off with tape, and we got exclusive KY3 video of that arrest. We'll play it for you now. As you can see in the video, about a dozen or so officers and special response team members went into that lot, located a man, and shortly after took him out in handcuffs into a police van. It happened around 8 a.m., so several witnesses saw it go down, and here's what they had to say about the startling ordeal.
They were in the back of that and climbed a fenced area where a bunch of cars are. So then we went around the back of the parking lot that we're in, and they actually were then going car to car. It looked like kind of a SWAT team, and they got in one of the cars and pulled some guy out.
Very scary ordeal indeed. Again, police are not calling the person who was arrested a suspect, and they're saying their search still continues. So if you're just now joining us, there was an officer involved shooting again this morning while an officer was dispatched here near Chestnut and Glenstone to check on the well-being of someone. We've been on the scene since then. There was a massive manhunt going on around 4 a.m. Those efforts, there are less officers and patrolmen out here than there were at that time, but there's still a heavy police presence. As you can see, this area is roped off behind me. Across the street in the O'Reilly Auto Parts parking lot, there are 2 police mobile command center units, and also the entire stretch of Chestnut Expressway between Glenstone and Fremont remains blocked off. It's been blocked off since about 5 a.m. As for the officer, he remains in the hospital. Earlier this morning, his condition went from serious to stable, and that's the last that we've heard on that. Reporting live in Springfield, Shayla Patrick, KY3 News.
At news time, the Springfield Police Department is rallying around one of its own. This is the first officer shot in the line of duty in 17 years in this city. KY3's Emily Wood continues our keen coverage from the Public Safety Center on Boonville, not far from headquarters.
Steve, Springfield Police Chief Paul Williams is calling this a tragic incident. He says his goal right now at noontime is to try to protect the privacy of that injured officer as well as his family. But we are learning a little bit more about that officer that we can share with you right now. We can tell you he was shot. His condition at last check was listed as serious but stable. We do not have any details on exactly what that means, but we do know his family has been contacted. We're told the family is there with him at Mercy. You can also see the squad cars that gathered around Mercy Hospital earlier today in support of their fellow officer. Now, the officer, we can tell you who was shot. We do not know how many times he was shot. We don't yet know where he was shot. We also don't know if he was able to fire back, if there was any type of exchange with the suspect. Now, the Springfield Police Department is saying that they're getting a lot of support from the community. If you want to support them, you can do that by simply sending a message on Facebook, Twitter, some form of social media. We're here at the headquarters of the Office of Public Safety because the police chief and other members of the police department are expected to gather here later today to share some more detailed information. We're waiting on confirmation of that officer's name, as well as more details about exactly what took place leading up to that shooting. And of course, we'll be here at the Public Safety Office on standby for the very latest, and we will bring it to you live just as soon as we get more information. Steve, back to you.
All right, Emily. Police also combing a wide area where the officer was shot, and a man was arrested a few hours later. As you've already seen in our coverage, Sarah Forhetz joins us from St. Louis near Glenstone with more about that. Sarah?
Yeah, Steve, it was a much different picture this morning around 8 o'clock and the hours there before that arrest happened, whenever this area was just swarming with people. A lot of officers here as people were trying to head into their workday. A lot of businesses wondering, do we open, do we close, should we stay on lockdown? And here at this business behind me, take a look at this video. This was the scene just after 8 a.m. at Engineering, Repro Graphics and Supply. Employees actually showed up to work just before 8 and noticed that their back door was unlocked. So that was quite the scare for them. The employees called the boss and made the decision to have police go through their building before they went inside.
Well, I've been down here yesterday swapping some vehicles out and stuff like that, and I went in and out 4 or 5 times, and I'm thinking, okay, I probably left the door unlocked, but don't go in. I just seriously doubt there's any issue, but nobody wants that on their conscience.
did come through the building, and there was no one inside, as he mentioned there. Police are still working the scene over there in the other area, but right now, just off Glenstone on St. Louis Street, the scene is clear.
All right, Sarah Forhead's live at noon. Sarah, we'll check back with you a little later. Evangel University students and staff were quickly alerted about what was going down a couple of blocks away from its dormitories and classroom complex. Campus police sent out an email and a text that the officer had been shot. The campus, however, was not part of the official search area, so it was not put under lockdown. People were told to contact police if they saw anything suspicious. Students, as did morning commuters, had to steer clear of Chestnut Expressway and Glenstone in order to get to class.
I took division all the way over to kind of avoid that, but it was really scary to think that there was a shooting and that I couldn't get to my university. It definitely made me think twice about potentially coming to class.
The Evangel email and the text alert went out right before 7:30 this morning. You can get the latest updates on what has transpired and the shooting details on afternoon online at ky3.com, or go to our KY3 app or the KY3 Facebook and Twitter feeds for more. Well, no need to worry about blizzards in the Ozarks. January is ending up mild. Here's Abby's first forecast.
Yeah, we're the lucky ones, getting a few beautiful days here in the Ozarks. Things really cleared up today compared to yesterday. That cold front came through. Really, Sunday was kind of a blustery day, dreary day to be outdoors. Completely different forecast out there today. Notice we have wall-to-wall sunshine up at Lake of the Ozarks. Beautiful conditions. We do have a southwest wind that's helping to warm things up, and lots of sunshine is in our future. I do want to point your attention to all this clear sky back to our west. Yeah, that's what's moving into the Ozarks over the next few days. High pressure is going to be in control, and things look just lovely over the next couple of days, and a warming trend is taking place as we get closer to Wednesday. Current temperatures are in the 40s. It's 50, though, down in Branson, 46 here in Springfield, 43 the current temp up in West Plains, and 46 in Clinton. Temperatures are going to remain very mild today. Here's what the rest of the afternoon looks like. More sunshine in our future. Temperatures making it into the mid-50s, Steve. A beautiful day. I have even warmer air in the 7-day forecast. And if you, your friends, or your family have a flight scheduled over the next couple of days, we'll take a look at the travel forecast, too, with that snowstorm up in the northeast.
All right, and we're going to talk about that right now. The first flakes of that massive storm are falling in western Pennsylvania and New York City. The Pennsylvania Department of Transportation says it has every available truck and road crew out there, and the New York City area and other metro areas are bracing for snow measured in feet, maybe up to 3 feet. Airlines have canceled more than 5,000 flights so far. Hazel Sanchez has more.
My mom called me from Pennsylvania and told me to go stock up, so I'm ready.
Kristen Salvo has all the necessary supplies to hunker down as the city prepares to get hit with a record-breaking snowstorm.
New Yorkers should not underestimate this storm. Assume conditions will be unsafe. Assume that you do not want to be out in this storm. When you can stay indoors, stay indoors. When you can stay off the roads, stay off the roads.
2,100 snowplows and salt spreaders are at the ready to battle the blizzard on 6,000 miles of city streets and highways throughout the 5 boroughs. All city agencies are on high alert with the expectation of as much as 2 to 3 feet of snow.
They are the first of New York's first responders, so please let them get their job done. Please don't tailgate behind the vehicles. We really need to be out there. This is going to be an incredibly difficult storm for us to fight.
I'll believe it when I see it, I guess. I'm hoping maybe it won't be as bad as they say.
Well, hopefully the subway will keep running and New Yorkers keep going, so I'm not too scared.
The MTA will be closely monitoring weather conditions, anticipating a messy evening commute with delays and cancellations.
But if they see a lot of their buses are starting to get stuck, then they're going to have to start to reduce service.
Most people say they're ready to stay home.
I bought extra groceries and stacked up and racked up.
I want it to be warm. I'm ready for the spring.
That was Hazel Sanchez reporting from New York. We will be watching the air traffic in and out of the Springfield-Branson National Airport, and we'll be checking on canceled flights that may impact those here in the Ozarks. Before you fly today, check with your airline. A new left-wing government elected in Greece. What that's doing to stock markets around the world. Also, will gasoline prices go up before they go down again?
You're watching KY3 News at noon with Steve Grant and Storm Team meteorologist Abby Dyer. The Ozarks' #1 newscast.
Well, companies that make snowplows and other stuff you have to have during blizzards are doing well, but traders appear to be shrugging off the election victory in Greece by a party that opposes its Euro bailout. The Dow Jones is down 9 points at midday to 17,663. The NASDAQ, however, is up 6.5 points at 4764.
And now, your KY3 News Business Brief.
Around the world, financial markets are still on edge about the weekend election in Greece, and that a new program to heighten awareness about the invisible killer is also making headlines. Paul Adler has that in our midday business brief.
Good afternoon. Greece's left-wing party won an election, and now the leaders are vowing to rewrite the country's massive bailout deal with the Eurozone. That situation is making the markets nervous. Along with that, there's been a steep drop in the value of the euro. But the European Central Bank is launching a bond buying program. It's hope that will pump freshly printed euros into the economy and restart growth there. At home, be on the lookout this week for reports on durable goods, home prices, new home sales, and that all-important consumer confidence index. Attention parents of middle schoolers, the Consumer Product Safety Commission is sponsoring a nationwide carbon monoxide safety poster contest that will help warn people about the dangers of the invisible killer, as it's called. The contest is open to U.S. residents in grades 6, 7, and 8, and the winners will take home $500 each. To enter and find all the contest rules, you can log on to cpsc.gov. All entries must be received no later than February 27th. The NFL is launching its own YouTube channel. Before today, the league steered fans to its own website or to its broadcast partners. The channel will have clips of game highlights, interviews, and fantasy football content. You'll also be able to view video through simple Google searches. Google is paying a multi-million-dollar sum annually for those NFL rights. Pizza Hut going gluten-free. Starting today, the chain will start offering 10-inch cheese and pepperoni pizzas made with a special dough. All the ingredients, we're told, will be stored and cooked separately so they do not come into contact with pizza dough made with regular flour. Check your store for availability starting today. And that's your midday business brief. We'll send it back to you.
Okay, Paul, more Americans now feeling better about their finances than they did this time last year. That's the bottom line of a new survey by Bankrate.com. In fact, the measurement of financial security is at a record high. The index measures such factors as job security, the amount of debt, also the level of savings. In addition to financial security, the survey also asked about holiday spending. Most Americans said they spent about what they expected to in the run-up to Christmas. Well, we've seen gasoline prices go up in Springfield in the past week, but go down in places like Republic. One industry analyst says don't be surprised to see the upward trend continue. Nationwide, the average price per gallon is $2.07. It's in the high 170s here in Springfield, but the price of crude oil is also going back up. The Lundberg survey says drivers will eventually see that at the pump. Well, we're on the front end of a warming trend, and you're going to enjoy the latest Storm Team forecast when we come back. Well, we kind of had a half weekend. Saturday was nice. Sunday wasn't so nice, and now it's going to get nicer.
Yeah, a bit of a bipolar weekend today.
Yes.
Much better than we were yesterday. Yesterday, really blustery, kind of a damp, dreary day. Today, not the case. If you've been outside, yeah, we already have 50s on the map today. Sunshine out in full force up in Bolivar. We had some high clouds earlier this morning, but those have now moved on. Temperatures are going to remain rather pleasant for the next couple of days. Here's the loop of satellite and radar. All of the action, of course, is out on the East Coast. Cloud cover taking up pretty much the eastern half of the country. That has just moved out for us. We are looking at clear skies to be building into our part of the country, so expect the sunshine to continue all day today. We have some clear skies in the forecast tonight and then sunshine for a couple more days. So really nice conditions in the middle part of the country. Current temperature, it's 50 down in Branson, 43 the current temperature out in West Plains, 48 in Clinton. Beautiful weather to enjoy today. It is windy though, much like yesterday. We had those winds out of the north. The difference today is that those winds are out of the southwest. That's helping to warm us up. And we've seen wind gusts at the top of the hour at 17 miles an hour in Camdenton, 23 in Clinton, and 28 in Joplin. So breezy out the door if you do choose to get out and enjoy the sunshine today. Here's your hour-by-hour forecast for the rest of the afternoon. Notice that we keep the sunshine. Temperatures are going to be topping out in the mid-50s across the region today. As soon as the sun sets, those temperatures begin to fall down again. We will see mostly clear skies. It'll be chilly again tomorrow morning with lows falling back close to the freezing mark. Your weather headlines, well above average today, 55 degrees, nearly 5 degrees above the averages for this time of the year in most parts of the viewing area. We do have a big warm up on track. This is going to happen on Wednesday. It's going to feel like spring by the time Wednesday gets here. Don't get too used to it though, because of course this time of the year in this part of the country, it's going to be kind of the up and down pattern for the next few weeks. Here's the snowfall potential up in the Northeast. This is what everyone is talking about, potential feet of snow falling in some of our major cities. So this could be a travel tie-up for you if you have any vacations planned. This is going to tie up flights all across the country. And here's what's happening in our part of the country. So that big trough is moving through the Northeast. For us, it actually brings good news. That's why we're getting such warm conditions. The ridge is able to move into our part of the country. We do have cooler air for the second half of the work week. Still not nearly as cold as it could be this time of the year in this part of the country. Temperatures this morning started out in the upper 20s and low 30s. This afternoon, we're looking to make it into the mid 50s. Lows tonight will fall back into the 30s once again. And then tomorrow, as a weak cold front moves through tonight, that is still going to allow temps to warm into the mid and upper 50s again tomorrow. Here's your forecast today. 54 in Springfield, 56 in Harrison. A bit of fog is possible late tonight. 32 the low temperature in Springfield, 36 in Harrison. I don't expect the fog to be widespread, but some patchy areas of fog in places that are protected from the wind and can't be ruled out overnight tonight. Here's what your 7-day forecast looks like. Temperatures feeling pretty nice by Tuesday. We're at 56 degrees. Check out the forecast on Wednesday. 68 degrees. Incredibly warm. It's going to feel great across the Ozarks by Wednesday. A cold front does move through Wednesday evening, and that's going to filter in some more seasonal temperatures for us. That happens by Thursday. Temperatures are back into the 40s. Now, you do see that chance for a wintry mix on Saturday. This is still a bit in question. Models have been toying with the idea of bringing in some wintry weather for us, but right now temperatures are just going to be too warm. So going for a rain-snow mix on Saturday, which would mean little to no accumulation with the rain mixed in there. I'm going to be watching those temperatures really closely over the next few days, Steve, because if we drop just a few more degrees, that could fall as all snow. So that's what we're watching in the forecast until it gets here. Enjoy the warmth. We will. All right. Thanks, Abby. And next, we're going to go out in the field again for an update on our top story involving the shooting of a Springfield police officer. Stay tuned. Okay, here's what we know. About 1:30 this morning, a Springfield police officer on overnight patrol gets out of his car to check out a person who is in the wrong place, maybe at the wrong time, and is shot in the head. At 8:30, around 7:30, 8:30 this morning, one man is arrested who is not necessarily the gunman. Emily Wood is covering this story for us, the other members of our KY3 News team, and joins us with what else we can confirm at news time. Emily?
Steve, we are working with the chief of police with Springfield to find out more information about this officer who was injured. What we know right now is that he was shot. He is in the hospital. We saw several squad cars gathered over at Mercy Hospital a little earlier this morning. We can tell you that officer's family has been contacted and they are by his side right now. What we're waiting on is for the Springfield Police Department to release, or to confirm, I should say, the name of the officer who was involved in that shooting. We're also waiting for more information about what led up to that shooting, as well as what the exchange looked like. Was the officer able to fire back at the suspect? Was there any type of gunfire exchange, or was this just a case of the suspect firing at this officer? And if so, why? What exactly happened? So that's what we're waiting on right now. We can tell you in the meantime, the police department says they've received a lot of support from the community in light of this tragedy. They are setting up a fund now for the injured officer and his family. Again, that fund, the information for it is available on the Springfield Police Department Facebook page. More easily, you can just go to the KY3 Facebook page because we have it linked there for you. We will continue to be on standby here from the Public Safety Center and bring you the latest information live just as soon as we get it. Steve?
All right, thanks, Emily. And we should point out this is the first police officer-involved shooting in 17 years, and also that traffic is still blocked on Chestnut Expressway at Glenstone, which is the crime scene where that man was arrested this morning after the initial call went out that an officer was down. We'll be back in just a moment. Now today in history.
Welcome back. Happy 67th anniversary to Lloyd and Annetta Jean Walker. They are from Stratford. Also celebrating today at 65th to James and Doris Miller from Marshfield. Another today to 57th to Wayne and Helen Fritz. They are from Monette. And finally, a 50th today to Charles and Carolyn Von Allman. They are from West Plains. And we invite you to stay tuned to KY3 and also check on KY3.com for updates on the officer shooting in Springfield. More news and weather coming up tonight at 5, 6, and 10. We'll see you then.